Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the September 6, 2016 Blount County Beer Board. Before we get started, I'd like to read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm may sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevators. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Commissioner Archer. Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Carver. Commissioner Caskey. Commissioner Daly. Commissioner Farmer. Commissioner French.
Here.
Commissioner Melton. Commissioner Samples. There's 7 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We do have a quorum. This time, we'll move to item B, setting the agenda. I'll stand for a motion to set the agenda. So moved by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Commissioner Carver. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. This time we'll move to approve the minutes of the August 18th, 2016 Beer Board meeting. I'll stand for a motion to approve. So moved by Commissioner Carver, seconded by Commissioner Daly. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And those opposed, like sign. The motion carries. At this time, we move to item D, and we'll entertain any public input on items on the agenda. And seeing no hands, we'll move to item F. We'll skip item E, unfinished business. There is no unfinished business. And the first item of new business is a public hearing regarding a request for an on and off premises beer permit application for Little River Campground, 7301 Pumpkin Lane, Townsend, Tennessee, 37882. And at this time, I will declare the public hearing open, and I will turn it over to our attorney, Mr. Craig Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Fillmore, would you come to the podium, please? Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the answers to information you provide this board will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge or belief. You have filed an application for a permit for both on and off premises at Little River Campground, Townsend, Tennessee. Is that correct? That's correct. The address of that location is 7301 Pumpkin Lane, Townsend. You consulted with me prior to filing your application and explained that you have a campground and also a store on the campground. You'll be selling beer in the store, and you think people will consume it at their campsites on the premises, so you asked, at my recommendation, you asked for an on and off premises permit. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Is all of the statistical information in your application true and correct?
Yes, it is.
You have went to the sheriff's department and had them do the distance measurements, and the nearest church is over 3,000 feet, nearest school over 5,000 feet, and the nearest residence 671 feet. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Any members of the board have questions for Ms. Fillmore? Hearing none, I would, any members of the audience have any questions for Ms. Fillmore? Hearing none, then I would suggest that we close the public hearing, and I would suggest to the board that Dr. Fillmore has met all the requirements for this beer permit to be issued, and also state law would recommend that the board approve it.
At this time, public hearing is closed. What is the pleasure of the board? We have a motion to approve the beer permit by Commissioner Caskey and seconded by Commissioner Melton. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Ma'am, you've been issued a beer permit, and I believe you'll need to pick that up in the morning at the clerk's office. Come on. Members of the beer board, I'll want to remind you, before you leave this evening, you need to sign the beer permit. At this time, we'll open a public hearing for item number 2, a public hearing regarding a request for an off-premises beer permit application for Kinjo Market number 47 at 2942 West Lamar Alexander Parkway, Friendsville, Tennessee, 37737. And I will turn the public hearing over to Mr. Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Joe today? I thought so. Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the answers that you will give this board tonight will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
All right, you are one of the proprietors of Kinjo Inc., and you have filed this application for beer permit, is that correct?
Yes.
The location of this is down on Lamar Alexander Parkway at 2942 Lamar Alexander Parkway, Friendsville, Tennessee, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You have filed this application, and is all of the information in your application true and correct?
It is.
You have also complied by going to the sheriff's department and have them do the measurements to the nearest school, church, and I think you're over 1,100 feet from the church, 5,300 from school, and 0.17 miles from the nearest residence. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're asking that this permit be issued for this location for off-premises beer sales. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Board have any questions for Mr. Carruthers? Anyone from the audience have any questions for Mr. Carruthers? All right, Mr. Chairman, I'll declare the public hearing closed and would suggest to the board that Kinjo Inc. meets the requirements for the issuance of this permit.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. What is the pleasure of the board? Motion to approve beer permit by Commissioner Melton, seconded by Commissioner Carver. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Mr. Carruthers, you will be issued a beer permit, and you'll need to come into the county clerk's office in the morning to pick your beer permit up. All right. This time we'll move to item 3 on the agenda, and we were going to set a first reading regarding a request for an off-premises beer permit application for Nikki's Food Mart, 5205 U.S. Highway 411 South, Maryville, Tennessee, 37801. And item 4, the first reading regarding a request for a temporary beer permit application for JSFT LLC at Maple Lane Farms, 1040 Maple Lane, Greenback, Tennessee, 37742. I've spoken with Mr. Garrett, and tentatively we have a meeting set for the 22nd of this month. We have a planning commission at 5:30, and 3 of the members of this board will be here. We have a animal control meeting set for 6 o'clock that evening, and 4 of the members will be here. So we're going to have members in the area on the 22nd. We thought we'd try to set that up on the 22nd at 5 o'clock if that meets the pleasure of the board. Yeah. Can most of you be here at 5 o'clock? And Mr. Garrett, all right, then we'll set both those second readings at 5 o'clock on September 22nd at 5 p.m. With that, we'll need a motion to set. We'll need a motion to set that meeting. I'll stand for it. So moved by Commissioner Carver and seconded by Commissioner Caskey. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, like sign. At this time, I will remind you not to leave before you sign the 2 beer permits that were issued tonight. And at this time, I will declare the beer board adjourned. Thank you, Greg.